Welcome to the NFL Clutch. My name is Brandon Lawson. Along here, my partners Alex Roof and John Poole. We're getting ready for Wildcard Weekend on the show. This is our first show we're doing. It's the playoff challenge, basically. We're getting ready for Wildcard Weekend. Today we've got two intense matchups, both on NBC. One at 4:35, one at 8:30. First, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at Indianapolis Colts. That's gonna be a pretty good matchup, John. What do you got to say about that one?
I gotta say, Kansas City is definitely the turnaround of this season. I mean, going from the worst team to in the playoffs, wild card, but I don't see them getting past the Indianapolis Colts, unfortunately.
Alex Roof, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I have to agree with John. I mean, Kansas City, they're a great team, but I just don't think I just don't see them getting past Indianapolis.
Now, Kansas City, they really fought hard. Like John said, they rebounded this year with Andy Reid and Alex Smith and Jamal Charles and Dwayne Bowe and all of them, but they just don't. I don't think they have it for Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a really good team. Kansas City doesn't really travel very well. We saw what they did against Denver. I don't see Kansas City win this game. I'm going with Indianapolis on this game too. Um, our next matchup, though, for today, and on a Saturday, is going to be New Orleans at Philadelphia. And we know how New Orleans, they do not travel well either. Philadelphia is a really good team. What you got on that one, John?
I agree with you there. Drew Brees with the New Orleans Saints have a 0-5 record while on the road playoffs. I don't see them getting past Philadelphia Eagles with their explosive defense with Nick Foles and LaShawn McCoy, along with Deshaun Jackson. But it's going to be a close game. But again, Drew Brees does not play well in the cold, open environment unless it's in the Louisiana Superdome. He just doesn't play well.
It's going to be really cold down there tonight, too, John. What you got on that one, Alex? You think New Orleans or Philadelphia's going to take this one there?
Let's just say we're talking about Mr. Drew Brees, Mr. Dan Sproles. We're talking about Mr. Jimmy Graham, and let's point out there that the Saints have a good defense. I mean, their middle linebackers. I mean, the secondaries. I think I think they can pull it off tonight. I mean, yeah, statistics, have that. Drew Brees is not that good on the road, especially in the cold on the road too. But I think they can maybe pull something off, and it's gonna be a close game, like John said. But I think they can pull it off and get that W.
I think Philadelphia, they're a really, really good team. New Orleans, we saw what they did against the Panthers on the road, against the St. Louis Rams on the road. I think they played the Jets on the road too, and they lost in the regular season. They are terrible on the road. They're used to the warmth in that dome, and they're going to Philadelphia in probably about 15 to 10 degrees weather. Drew Brees is, like you said, like John said, 0-5 on the road. It's already cold. Not Phil Rivers, Nick Foles is used to that, and I think he's gonna step up tonight and make a big battle. And I got Philadelphia in this one, but keep in mind, Philadelphia wins this game, they will go on to play Carolina. If New Orleans wins this game, they'll go on to play Seattle Seahawks. We've got two matchups tomorrow as well, guys. Let's start with the AFC. We got the San Diego Chargers versus Cincinnati Bengals. San Diego had a huge matchup last week to keep them into the playoffs and keep them in a chance for the Super Bowl title. But do you guys think they can hang on and do what they do against one of the best in the AFC, Cincinnati Bengals? John?
No, I do not see them getting anywhere. To tell you the truth, they lucked into the playoffs by a bad call, and now they're in the playoffs. But the Cincinnati Bengals will take them to town with Andy Dalton and
AJ Green, of course. They're a really good team. What about you, Alex? What you got on that one? You think San Diego got something, or you think Cincinnati's going to take care of business tomorrow?
I think the Chargers can pull it off. Uh, Cincinnati Bengals, last week against the Ravens, they played a very good game against us. I mean, the Ravens, and they proven that hey, we're in this thing too, just like the Chargers, and I think the Chargers can pull it off and get that that win because Andy Dalton, AJ Green, Andy Dalton can he's for statistics, he can throw some weird passes for interceptions and different things and fumbles. So I'm not sure about the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going with the Chargers.
I don't like this matchup at all for the San Diego Chargers. I would like to see Pittsburgh in this matchup more than the San Diego Chargers. I don't think Chargers have it. I think Cincinnati's going to take them to town, just like John said. Cincinnati's a really good football team. They've got a really good defense. They've worked on that defense really hard. Andy Dalton and AJ Green and that tight end Jermaine Gresham, they've just been taking care of business. And they're in Cincinnati too. I would not like this matchup at all for San Diego. I think Cincinnati's going to take this game with a long shot. No problem for Cincinnati. Keep in mind if San Diego does win, they will play the Denver Broncos, and Cincinnati wins, they'll go on to play the New England Patriots. We've got one more matchup. The NFC is not done yet. We still got San Francisco and Green Bay. San Francisco's going to travel to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers just came back last week along with Randall Cobb, and they made a huge statement against the Chicago Bears. They got close, though, and Bears aren't a very good team. I mean, they got very close to losing that game. What do you think they're going to do against San Francisco? We'll start with John.
It's hard to say. The temperatures are quite honestly going to be the coldest. They could be the coldest in NFL history for playing a game at Lambeau Field. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I want to say Green Bay just because they're used to the cold, but then again, you have the San Francisco 49ers. And they're great anywhere they go. So it's going to be a toss-up. It's going to be basically who can fight the cold the best.
All right, thank you very much, John. Alex, what do you think about that matchup?
I think that Green Bay is gonna take care of the 49ers, and because I just don't see I just don't see Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers offense are gonna do good against Green Bay. And you've seen in the past that 49ers beat Packers. I mean, it's just been a good game between them in the past, and but I think that Green Bay can beat the 49ers.
All right, 49ers are a very good team. They've got a lot of good people on their team. Michael Crabtree, Vernon Davis, Anquan Bolden. Colin Kaepernick. Don't forget about the defense. They got Bowman and Patrick Willis and a good defensive line. I'm not sure if Patrick Willis is still in. I haven't been paying attention to that, but still, San Francisco is a really good team. Green Bay, they're a good team as well. They've got a good defense, they've got a good offense, they've got a good balanced team. Green Bay is in Green Bay. That's not very good if you're San Francisco. Not a very good matchup you've got there. But I think Green Bay's got a chance. I think San Francisco's got a chance. Anybody's got a chance coming in these games. But I think Green Bay's going to take it. I think Aaron Rodgers, he got hot last week. He's got the momentum on his side. Randall Cobb's back. And, they've got a really good wide receivers and tight end base. I think they're going to be pretty good for this game. I think Green Bay's going to take the win. And I think we'll see Green Bay playing either Carolina or Seattle next week. Speaking of those two teams, Carolina and Seattle, the 1 and 2 seed in the NFC. Who's better, the Carolina Panthers or the Seahawks? What do you have there, John?
Ooh, that's a very tough matchup. Carolina definitely came out this year, very slow start, but then just explosive, beat the New Orleans Saints. But Seattle is playing at home, so no matter what they do. So it's hard to say, but I don't see... It's really hard to say. I really don't know how that one would go. I think Carolina, though, will go farther than the Seahawks.
A little bit of an upset there. Alice, what do you think about that? You think Carolina or Seattle Seahawks? Who's better in there? I think we got a little technical problem with Alex there, but I'll go ahead and give my opinion on this one. I think Seattle Seahawks and Carolina Panthers, they're really both good teams. They've got really good defenses, along with the Seattle Seahawks. They all have good defenses. I think Carolina and Seattle are two of the same teams. They've got quarterbacks that can run the football when they're in the pocket. They've got good, Marshawn Lynch is probably the running back spot for Seattle is where they got the advantage. But I like Carolina. Carolina's a really good football team. People do not realize that. People think Carolina's doing this as a fluke. They are a really good football team. They're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Yeah, I think they will go farther than the Seattle Seahawks on this one. Now on the AFC, we have the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. I'll go ahead and give my opinion on that. I think New England's very lucky they got that 3rd seed. I think Denver's definitely the best team in the AFC, no doubt. They've really been playing well. Peyton Manning broke 3 records in the regular season. Definitely a really good team. What do you think about that one, John?
I have to absolutely agree with you. I mean, he fired off 55 passing touchdowns this season, 10 interceptions. That's astounding. Breaking records like that. He broke that record. He broke the passing record by Drew Brees. He also broke the record with him and Matt Prater did with the most points scored by an NFL team. First team to hit 600 points in a season. I mean, we didn't even know that would happen in our lifetime, but here you go. I mean, Denver Broncos are going to be a force to be reckoned with, but they got to not struggle in the cold. That's one of Peyton's not strong points. He not handle the cold very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if he can handle the cold right and get through the divisional and conference games, I think he'll win the Super Bowl.
And you got to remember, New England beat Denver in a regular season game, and New England really had to come back after losing 24-0 in the first half. Came back and beat them in overtime due to a problem on the punt. Alex, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, the Denver Broncos and New England we're talking about. Who do you think's a better team?
Oh, yeah, I have to agree with you and John on that one. I think Carolina Panthers are making their mark, and I just don't see Seattle. Once they face these stronger teams than what they've been facing, I think that they'll eventually have to lose one of their games, and I think Carolina Panthers. I think they can go all the way to the Super Bowl, and
Well, I know we kind of did it already. Now we've talked about the games. Let's pick them. We've got the New Orleans Saints versus Philadelphia Eagles. I've got the Eagles.
I have them too.
Ruth?
I have New Orleans.
Okay, we've got Green Bay Packers versus San Francisco 49ers. I'm going with Green Bay.
I am too.
You gotta go with Green Bay too.
All right, we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis.
I'm actually going to go with Kansas City on this one. Even though I said they weren't the greatest of teams, I think they'll upset.
Yeah, I gotta go with John on this one. I think Kansas City can pull off the win.
And then we've got the Cincinnati Bengals versus San Diego Chargers. I've got the Bengals. They better not sleep though, because San Diego they can scare you.
They can, but the Bengals they've scored more than 40 points at home each time they've been there. So it's an obvious choice, the Bengals.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers are gonna strike them with their lightning rod, and I think the Chargers are gonna take this one.
Hey, I was going with kind of upsets on these ones. Thank you very much, guys. This is our first video on a very cold day where I live. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's cold where John lives and Alex lives, but we've got a lot of matchups to watch today. It's gonna be very fun. Hopefully this is a really good video. Hopefully everybody subscribes to this video, and hopefully we'll start making more. I just feel like doing this for fun. I'm going to put some clips in this video, and y'all see what I'm talking about. And thank you guys very much. Once again, my name's Brandon Lawson, along here with John Poole and Alex Ruth, and we'll see you guys later.